Welcome back, cybersecurity enthusiasts, to our comprehensive journey through the digital realm. I'm your instructor, and I'm thrilled to have you join us for episode 9 of our cybersecurity course. In our previous episodes, we've laid a solid foundation, exploring the core principles of cybersecurity, understanding various threat landscapes, and even delving into network security fundamentals. We discussed how firewalls protect our perimeter and how intrusion detection systems alert us to malicious activities. Today, we're taking a deep dive into what many consider the very bedrock of modern digital security, cryptography. This is a fascinating and incredibly vital module, and in this specific episode, titled Cryptography Basics, Encryption and Hashing, we will demystify how secret codes protect our most sensitive information. We'll uncover the ancient art and modern science behind cryptography, distinguishing between its two main pillars, encryption and hashing. By the end of this episode, you'll have a clear understanding of symmetric and asymmetric encryption methods, including algorithms like AES, DES, RSA, and ECC. We'll also explore the world of hashing with MD5, SHA-256, and BCRYPT, and most importantly, you'll learn when and why to use encryption versus hashing. Get ready to unlock the secrets of secure communication and data protection. So, what exactly is cryptography? At its core, cryptography is the practice and study of techniques for secure communication in the presence of third parties, often referred to as adversaries. Think of it as the art of writing or solving codes. Its history dates back thousands of years, with early examples like the Caesar cipher used by Julius Caesar to protect military communications. The fundamental goal hasn't changed much: to transform information into a secure form that is unreadable by anyone other than the intended recipient. In the digital age, cryptography addresses several critical aspects of cybersecurity. First, confidentiality, ensuring that information is accessible only to those authorized to have it. Second, integrity, guaranteeing that information has not been altered or tampered with. Third, authenticity, verifying the identity of the sender or the source of information. And finally, non-repudiation, preventing someone from denying that they sent a message or performed an action. Cryptography achieves these goals through various mathematical algorithms and computational processes, which we'll explore in detail today. It's not just about hiding messages, it's about building trust and reliability in an inherently untrustworthy digital environment. Before we dive into specific methods, let's understand the two fundamental components that make cryptography work: algorithms and keys. An algorithm is essentially the mathematical procedure or formula used for encryption and decryption. Think of it as the recipe or the method for scrambling and unscrambling data. These algorithms are generally public knowledge. Their security relies on their mathematical complexity and the strength of the other component, the key. A key is a piece of information, typically a string of characters, that determines the functional output of a cryptographic algorithm. It's like the secret ingredient that makes the recipe unique each time. The same algorithm, when used with different keys, will produce entirely different encrypted outputs from the same input data. The strength of your cryptographic protection heavily depends on the secrecy and randomness of your key. If an unauthorized person gets hold of the key, they can decrypt the message, regardless of how strong the algorithm is. Therefore, robust key management, the generation, exchange, storage, and revocation of cryptographic keys, is a critical aspect of any secure system. Without strong keys and careful key management, even the most sophisticated algorithms can be rendered useless. Let's begin with symmetric encryption, also known as secret key encryption or single key encryption. This is arguably the simplest and fastest form of encryption. The core principle is straightforward: the same secret key is used by both the sender to encrypt the data and the receiver to decrypt it. Imagine Alice wants to send a confidential message to Bob. Alice uses her secret key to encrypt the message, turning it into an unreadable jumble called ciphertext. She then sends this ciphertext to Bob. Bob, who possesses the identical secret key, uses it to decrypt the ciphertext back into the original readable message, which we call plaintext. It's like having a single padlock and key. Both Alice and Bob have a copy of that same key, allowing them to lock and unlock the same padlock. The primary advantage of symmetric encryption is its speed and efficiency. It's much faster computationally than other forms of encryption, making it ideal for encrypting large amounts of data, such as entire files or streams of video. However, its main challenge lies in securely sharing that secret key between the sender and receiver. If an attacker intercepts the key during its exchange, the entire system is compromised. This key distribution problem is a significant hurdle in symmetric encryption, and it's a critical point to consider when designing secure systems. Let's look at some prominent symmetric encryption algorithms. Historically, one of the most significant was the Data Encryption Standard, or DES. Adopted as a federal standard in the U.S. in 1977, DES was revolutionary for its time. It uses a 56-bit key, which at the time was considered robust. DES works by breaking the plaintext into 64-bit blocks and then processing them through 16 rounds of transformations using the key. However, with the rapid increase in computing power, the 56-bit key length became its Achilles heel. By the late 1990s, DES keys could be brute-forced in a matter of hours or even minutes. This vulnerability led to its deprecation for most secure applications. A temporary solution was 3DES, triple DES, which applies the DES algorithm 3 times with 2 or 3 distinct keys, effectively increasing the key length and complexity. While more secure than original DES, 3DES is also considerably slower and still susceptible to certain attacks, making it a legacy solution. The current global standard for symmetric encryption is the Advanced Encryption Standard, or AES. Adopted in 2001, AES replaced DES and is now widely used across governments, banks, and Internet security protocols. AES is a block cipher, meaning it encrypts data in fixed-size blocks, typically 128 bits. It uses key sizes of 128, 192, or 256 bits, making it significantly more resistant to brute force attacks than DES. Even with today's supercomputers, breaking AES 256 is computationally infeasible, it would take billions of years. AES is implemented in various modes of operation, such as CBC, GCM, and CTR, each offering different properties regarding confidentiality and integrity. It's fast, efficient, and incredibly secure when implemented correctly, forming the backbone of secure communications for applications ranging from Wi-Fi security, WPA2/3, to secure file storage and VPNs. Understanding AES is crucial because you'll encounter it constantly in modern cybersecurity. Now, let's shift our focus to asymmetric encryption, also known as public key cryptography. This is a more complex but incredibly powerful form of encryption that elegantly solves the key distribution problem inherent in symmetric encryption. Unlike symmetric encryption, asymmetric encryption uses 2 different, mathematically linked keys, a public key and a private key. Each user has their own pair. The public key, as its name suggests, can be freely distributed and shared with anyone. It's used to encrypt data or verify a digital signature. The private key, on the other hand, must be kept absolutely secret by its owner. It's used to decrypt data or create a digital signature. Here's how it works. If Alice wants to send a confidential message to Bob, she obtains Bob's public key, which Bob openly shares. Alice uses Bob's public key to encrypt her message. Once encrypted with Bob's public key, only Bob's corresponding private key can decrypt it. Even Alice, who encrypted the message, cannot decrypt it using Bob's public key or even her own private key. This ensures confidentiality. The beauty of this system is that Alice and Bob never need to share a secret key beforehand. They only exchange public keys, which are not secret. This fundamental difference makes asymmetric encryption invaluable for establishing secure communication channels over insecure networks, such as the Internet. It's slower than symmetric encryption, making it less suitable for encrypting large data volumes, but it's indispensable for initial secure key exchange and digital signatures. Let's delve into the most widely used asymmetric encryption algorithms. The most famous is RSA, named after its inventors Rivest, Shamir, and Adelman. RSA's security relies on the computational difficulty of factoring large prime numbers. Generating an RSA key pair involves selecting two large prime numbers and performing a series of mathematical operations. The public key is derived from these numbers, while the private key relies on knowing the original prime factors. Moving away from encryption, let's introduce another fundamental cryptographic concept: hashing. Hashing is a process that takes an input, which can be data of any size, like a file, a message, or a password, and converts it into a fixed-size string of characters, called a hash value, hash code, digest, or fingerprint.